Today we're taking a stock SCX24 from this to this. This is the Fedco 6x6 conversion kit. They sent me over this to check out. I'd never heard of them before, but they were gracious enough to send me this kit to check out. So we're gonna build this and assemble it and run it today. I'm gonna show you what comes in the kit itself. It's very simple to build, very, very simple to install, and gives you a full transformation very quickly and very easily. It's more expensive of a conversion kit that we've seen from other types of bodies and things like that. It is about $100 to do this, but you do get some premium components. But we'll go over all that in this video. This is gonna be a fun one because the final result came out better than I expected. Let's take a look at our kit here. So here's the box that it comes in. I never heard of Fedco until they reached out to me. I started seeing some of their posts online on Instagram, and now here we are. I'm excited to try this stuff out because it looks pretty cool. So this kit goes for $100, which is more than what you usually spend for one of these body conversions for the SCX24. But the kicker with this is that it's a bolt-on and go 6x6 configuration. So I originally was just looking for a 6x6 body to put on an existing project. So I was just looking for this, but the kit that they sell comes with the whole rear axle and everything, which we'll get into in a minute. But here's our Lexan body. It is a one-piece Lexan body, complemented by some molded details. We got this cage in the back, spare tire pre-mounted, mirrors. I like nice flexible mirrors there. Molded grille, lots of lights here, light bar on there, functional light bar on the top. Magnetic connections, which I really like. So no wires you have to plug in. When you drop this on, you should have power to your lights. So we've got tail lights, headlights, and light bar on this. This body comes in 3 different colors. Those are available. I'll put those in the description below. I opted for the titanium because I think it's just cool looking, pretty neutral color. It'll go with a lot of different wheels and things like that. Here's our supporting components. Light connections there, the magnetic light connections. We get a metal drive shaft piece there. It looks like the male end for that. Some different gears. It's probably our pass-through gear. I'm guessing it is. Yes, so there's our diff cover there with the pass-through gear that's going to mate up to your stock SCX24 axle. The bearings are included too. Cool. And then here's, look, it's fully assembled. Really nice kit here. So it's got your linkage in the back. Looks like SCX24 style links. Metal pivot hardware on these. It's a 4-link setup in the rear. Again, metal drive shaft, female end, mated onto the axle. Stock SCX24 style axle. Feels like a metal housing, isn't it? It is aluminum, so it's aluminum rear axle housing here, brass hexes, internals already installed. And you get this aluminum rear chassis piece here that should bolt right up to our stock chassis rails. You can see right there where your body hinge would go, which would bolt right into there. And then you're ready to go. So this should be a really easy swap. This is meant to go on the C10 JLU style wheelbase. Oh, my light bar fell apart there. I have to glue that in. Looks like that lens just pops on. Fitment's a little loose on that lens. I got distracted by that. So again, this is meant to go on the C10 JLU Bronco wheelbase, kind of that most popular wheelbase that we see. So that's what I'm going to use here. I've got a stock-ish chassis. I'm going to bolt this right up to. We'll see how it works. So I'm installing the pass-through gear now. To do this, take your diff cover off, and then you just have to disconnect your drive shaft. And then you can pull out the stock worm screw here and then put in your aftermarket one. So the double-ended worm screw, it's going to go into the cover that they provide, and then it's going to bolt right on to your stock housing. All right, pass-through gear all installed. This was very simple. Fit perfectly, no issues whatsoever with fitment. That aftermarket diff cover went right on the axles. We got good smooth action here. Now we're going to be bolting on the rear piece. So it doesn't get much easier than that right there. This bolted on extremely simple, and having it all pre-built and everything, and just basically just 4 bolts right onto the back of the chassis. No problem, fit perfectly. I love that this is aluminum and they didn't try to do a 3D printed setup. A good clearance for the drive shafts and things in the rear. One thing to note is that the oil-filled shocks that they do supply, the damping on these is much stiffer than the stock shocks, so we are going to get some different behavior in the rear. As time allows, I might try to drain that oil out, maybe put a lighter oil in there. It just feels thick. Feels like there's a thick oil in there. Now I'm gonna source some wheels and tires. I'm gonna get the body fit on there, and then we'll see it when it's all complete. Let's take a look. Just threw some wheels and tires on that I had. These are the Proline Toyo Open Countries. So the tires look good. I gotta source some different wheels. So it's difficult to find something I have 6 of accessible. But I just wanted to put these on there just to kind of get a sense of the fit. So these are about a 57, 58 millimeter tire. That's about the max of what you're gonna wanna get with this body. They fit really good. I think you could go a little bit bigger. I wouldn't know if I would want to though. That looks pretty good from a stance perspective, but it's all on. Really, really simple. For the lights, I did a splitter in the front. I did a 2-in-1 splitter for the lights to attach. One thing that's a little wonky is the bumper. So stock bumper from, this was a C10, did not look good. I had to try a couple different bumpers here. Ultimately settled on what came with the Modrax kit. Looks decent on there, but not great. So it's gonna be a little tricky to find a bumper that fits exactly with this. The kit did not come with one. I don't know if Fedco sells one, but it'd be nice to have a bumper to go with this to complete the look, because without it, it was pretty naked and it just had the 2 frame rails just there and exposed. Not a fan of that look. So I wanted something on there. This looks okay for the time being. Kind of same thing with the rear. It's just open in the rear, no bumpers there. So to complete this kit, it'd be nice to have some bumpers to go along with it. Check this thing out. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole with this, which I'll get into as we go through the build. One thing to note, my lights aren't working in the front. I've got tail lights, but I don't have the light bar or the headlights, which is a bummer. I'm working with Fedco on this to try to figure out how to fix those. So I'll do that in a follow-up video, or if I can get that fixed by the end of this one, we'll get there. But everything else is good. Magnets are nice and tight. Body sits on there great. Holds it very well. You can see where this is where I got kind of lost and carried away here, because the kit came out so good. I initially had this just on stock electronics and everything. I had some Proline Toyo tires here on the plastic wheels, but you know, I thought I can't just let it go off half pregnant. So I went and fixed a lot of things here, did a bunch of like the free mods that I typically do on SCX24s, relocated the battery up front, good wheels and tires. So I got the little guy racing parts, cherry red wheels on this. I love these wheels. The satin finish of this red looks so good, and I figured against the titanium gives it a really nice contrast. So cool looking wheel and tire set here. Went with the 57 mil claw hammer tires. No aftermarket inserts here, just the regular foams. When I first drove this, I was getting wicked lift on it, no traction. So I threw some brass in the front. Got some heavy Treel knuckles up front, heavy Treel diff cover to try to get this thing more planted. That helped a lot, but then I found it was quite underpowered. So put in this new Endura ESC. Now don't sleep on this upgrade, guys, especially if you're doing a brush build. This new G2 MB100 is fantastic. A very, very small footprint here, significantly smaller than its predecessor, and you get the Bluetooth functionality with this, so you can tune it in the app. Endura is rocking it with this ESC, and I highly, highly recommend an ESC upgrade if you're keeping the stock 2-in-1, because this thing, as soon as you start putting aftermarket things on it, it just craps out. It just can't handle the stress of aftermarket parts, and it's not that great to begin with. So this is a fantastic upgrade for little to no money, really, for what you get. And you can run it on 3S, which is what I've been doing here. Got my Gen Ace 3S battery up front. Totally transformed this rig. Also threw in a 66 turn 50 size motor, because again, I had that great ESC there. I needed some more punch. Threw this in here, and now the whole system works really, really well. So we've got a good base underneath this truck to do it justice. Now let's see it in action. Still running stock servo until that dies. We'll replace that soon enough, I'm sure. So here's what I mean with the magnet mounts. So see, I got the taillights on, no problem. But I just got nothing in the front. I've tried a bunch of different connections, cables, just can't get it to work. So hopefully Fedco can help me out, but it is functional. Look at the slow crawl on it, and this is on 3S. Look at that. It is so linear and so smooth. I don't even want to do a brushless motor conversion on this. It is great. Kit works great. I'm getting some squealing in the rear here. You'll hear this when we get on the course, but something in the rear is giving me like an old rocking chair squeal. To fix that. I do notice that that middle axle, you get a lot of sway in there. It could really benefit from some sway bars in there or something to keep that axle from moving around. I do notice that significantly. The rear is tight, everything else is good, but that's kind of sloppy. But overall, it came out really good. So let's go hit the course so you guys can see it drive. Here we are in Mini Moab. Let's check this thing out. I think you're gonna be surprised at how good it is. I hope. This is one of those things you can go down the rabbit hole so far. Like I could use different shocks, all kinds of different stuff here. But for what we got right now, it's pretty good. I just love the power delivery on this thing. Let's head right into the broken stair, AKA the escalator. It is narrow though. I'm still using stock width axles on this, no hex extensions or anything. That's gonna be a challenge on this course because some of the things you have to straddle crevices and V-notches and things, which makes it challenging. Case in point right here, this is gonna be tough. The length, though, should really help us with verticals. There we go. Look at that. The control is so good. You come down this valley here. This is where the narrow track is going to help us. So we should be able to just kind of weave our way through. Oh, maybe not. It does have the turning radius of the moon, however. Okay. And I could fix that with some different axles and servo setup, but it's like multi-point turn to get into the next obstacle here. Where that width is coming in, or would come in handy here. I need to get my tires on either side of the deep valley in the middle of this line. Unable to do that line, let's try going up the bypass here. Oh, there we go, there we go. Look at that save, nice. Leaning pretty hard there, staying stable though. We're gonna come down, we're gonna go left here. Oh, it looks awesome. What a cool kit this is. Ooh, nice. Look at this thing climb. Man, some overdrive and underdrive combo here. Improve that steering, this thing would be fantastic. Getting a little bit of rubbing on the body there. You can hear that in the front. So I don't know if you want to go any bigger than 57s for tires. Otherwise, you'd lift up the body, be too top heavy, I think. But I might have to do some trimming in the front. Oh, I should have pinned it there. There we go, nice. To cap this off, let's see if we can get up the squeeze, or the chute rather. Given the length, we might have a chance. Don't think I have the bite at the top. Oh, no. All right. Cool kit here from Fedco. They're making some pretty neat stuff. Like I said, I hadn't worked with them before. I hadn't really heard of them before. They reached out to me and offered to send this over. I'm glad they did. This is a really neat setup. They've got a bunch of other stuff that they're working on too. But this is fun. This is nice to do something different. Super, super easy install. No problem. It took maybe 20 minutes to do the actual initial installation, and then I did a bunch of the other stuff. But super easy bolt on to a stock rig, no problem. $100 is a little pricey, but again, you get the metal components in the rear, full complete rear axle with the pass-through gear and everything. So it's just a really easy, clean, and simple way to fully transform your truck. So I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it. I'm gonna keep driving, see if I can get some of these lines, and then I'll hand it over to Axel, because it's really gonna be his truck. He's already claimed it. But I'll see you guys back at the bench to wrap this up soon. All right, guys, cool kit here from Fedco. This was a really fun kind of rainy afternoon project. I got this done really quickly. Easy, easy, easy install. A beginner could do this no problem whatsoever. The fact that they give you all the pre-assembled components, you just slap it on there, makes it very simple to totally transform your rig. Some minor gripes about this. I wish it came with a bumper set, front and rear. I think that would really help kind of clean up the look of this. One of the biggest things for me, practically, is I think it could really benefit from a sway bar addition on this. If they could include something to help stabilize that middle axle, and I think that could really help give it more premium feel, because right now it just kind of wiggles around in there. It is noticeable when you're driving it. But overall, very cool kit. I like that they give you premium components of this. You get the aluminum axle housing, metal drive shafts, oil-filled shocks ready to go. So it kind of offsets the knee-jerk reaction to the $99 price tag. But they've done a good job with this kit. It was a fun and easy project, and I like the end result. We did a bunch of other supporting stuff to this truck, so I will put the build list in the description down below on where you can get the Fedco kit, as well as the supporting upgrades that we did. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think of this 6x6? And have you tried anything from Fedco? And as always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I'll see you in the next video.